Welcome live to the TBN pregame show. I'm Mary Claire Zacharias alongside Sal Valera, Josh Milnes, and Zach Wolzen. We will be previewing the Week 5 matchup as the St. James Academy Thunder will be taking on the 2-3 Warriors of St. Pius. The Thunder got the 32-29 win over the Blue Valley Tigers on Friday night to improve their record to 2-1. The 3-1, sorry. It was a tight one with the offense of the Tigers not backing down, led by Sogard, the Lockett twins, and Stubbe. It was sealed by Brady Boydston as he recovered the onside kick to close it out. Guys, there's nothing better to watch some back-and-forth football, high school football on Friday night. Zach, what is your instant reaction to this outcome?
It was a great game. Outside looking in, it was a bit stressful, just sitting there waiting to see what's going to have this back-and-forth game. But it's always great to come out on top, especially on a homecoming game, to really set the mood for the week and finish it well.
I think that the thing that stuck out to me the most was that the offense looked like it really started to click. There have been a little bit of concern among people that I talked to the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or whatever, saying that, the offense is struggling to score points, but that was clearly not the issue last Friday night. But unfortunately, the defense looked a little bit sloppier than they usually do. So they're going to have to work on that this week, especially tackling.
Yeah, I know for sure up in the booth, it was kind of just a roller coaster of emotions in that fourth quarter, but it was great to come out on top. Like you said, it was homecoming game. It was really good to get that win. Felt great as a senior to win on your homecoming night. So I think it was a great game, and hopefully we can maybe pick it up a little bit last week. Defense was looking a little shaky.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh, what do you think the Thunder did well, and what can they carry on as they face the Warriors this Friday night?
Well, I think that the offense needs to just continue to open up holes for Jake House. He's been really, really dominant over the past few weeks. And a lot of that's credit to the offensive line, especially our interior run game has looked very, very nice, coming together really well. As far as improvement goes, tackling. As far as schemes went, Coach Den's, really, really good at situational football. He knows what to run, when to run it. But there were a lot of missed tackles out there. It often took about 2 to 3 tackle attempts to bring the ball carrier down, which is something that really needs to be improved against a team that really likes to run it down the throat of the defense.
Absolutely. Just like what you said about Jake House, he dominated with 22 carries for 204 yards and a touchdown. His dominance is obviously a testament to all his hard work. But like you said, the offensive line doing their job well. Sal, what makes House such a threat to opposing defenses, and how can the offensive line keeping up the good work?
I mean, he's a beast out there. He's got speed, he can break tackles, and when he gets out in open field, he's gone. So I think just threat-wise, they can wrap him up. Aquinas did a really good job of containing House, but they've been the only team I feel like that's been able to do that so far, is to just kind of limit him on runs. And I mean, on weeks where he hasn't been contained well, it's been numbers like this: 22 carries, 204 yards, and a touchdown. That's impressive numbers from him. But I mean, he's just a threat every time he gets the ball.
Yeah, I think it kind of shows, first couple weeks, we went against ferocious D-lines from Miege and Aquinas. So to kind of see, we're really starting to find out how good our O-line really can be. And they've really been putting that on display the past couple weeks. And I don't think it ends here. I think this is going to be a big point of our success going forward in the season.
Absolutely, guys. Just like what you said, the Thunder defense allowed 29 points last week. I mean, obviously they missed a lot of tackles. Other than that, how can they regroup, or is it just tackles?
Yeah, I mean, Blue Valley had some great playmakers and made some great plays, and stuff like that's going to happen. But as long as we can learn from our mistakes and just stay in our coverages, contain the run this week, I think we'll be all right.
It's going to be something to watch, too, is the pass rush. That was really struggling this week. Quarterback had a lot of time to throw. You saw those very longs get converted, fourth and very longs get converted a few times just on basically miracle plays. Yeah. But the secondary isn't going to be able to contain the receivers forever, especially when you're playing up against people who really know or really have a good receiving core. So you got to watch that the next week going into Pius, very physical environment. They're going to have to get pressure on the quarterback, make him make those mistakes, and take, the pressure off the secondary a little bit.
Yeah, pressure was a big thing. I mean, like you said, you hit the nail right on the cup in there. Pressure was not there, and it gave their quarterback a lot of time. And when you have great receivers like Stubbe and the Lockett twins, of course he's going to make those plays if he has time. because those guys are really shifty. And then missing tackles. I know there were multiple times one of the Lockets would get it on one side of the field, and he'd make a run up the far sideline. And you can't allow that to happen, especially this week, where Pius, they don't have those really big receivers that can kind of be shifty and get out, but you still have to make those tackles. Tackles are key for their defense, and that's what they're going to need to do to kind of limit that point total this week.
Absolutely. And just like you said, them reversing the field. One time they're on the left side, and then they go all the way to the right side, little snake around. They go all the way to the right side. And then like you said too, Josh, I mean, they had two at least plays I remember, 3rd and 28. I mean, Stubby was open, and then they had Lockett. Stubby was right there. It went over his head. Then Jordan Lockett got the catch, got the completed first down. I mean, that really just can't happen on the defensive side.
Can't give those up.
Yeah. So now let's turn our attention to St. Pius. The Warriors have faced some tough teams, including Rockhurst and 2-time state champion Gardner Edgerton. The quarterback from St. Pius, Jack Nichols, has been dealing with a shoulder injury, so who knows what his availability is for this game. But Hudson Bailey looks like he will be starting in this game. The Warriors are led by standout offensive lineman junior Kyle Kuhn, who has racked up offers from Penn State, Oklahoma, Northwestern, and Illinois. Guys, how can the Thunder defense find a way to get in the face of Nichols?
Yeah, as you guys were saying with the pass rush last week, to really, to limit the quarterback this week is very important, because these quarterbacks, they have either one plays. They can sling the ball. They can make good reads. So we're going to have to get in their face and kind of cause some distractions.
For me, it's really got to come down to that pass rush that we were just talking about. Whenever you have an offensive lineman that has D1 offers, you're going to really have to prioritize who your stronger players are on the defensive line. But, of course, that's only one of 5. You got to look at the other. Where can we exploit the weaknesses? Where can we put pressure? Where can we blitz? Where is this going to be a good idea? Where can we scheme? And Coach Den is really, really, really good at that. And so I assume that we'll find a way to get pressure, but it may have to come off a little bit of some secondary help, that we blitz some people, either linebackers or even maybe throwing a safety blitz in there every once in a while to try and get pressure on the quarterback and have him make mistakes.
Yeah, pressure was a problem last week. They're going to need to fix that, like you guys have said this week. And I think that's great, like getting pressure from those other guys, maybe having some linebackers come in to help fill up on the blitz. But pressure is going to be key. These quarterbacks, if we give them too much time, they'll find it. And that's a problem with any team. And we're just going to need to get past. If we get past noon, we can get in their back line. But exploiting those other holes in their offensive line, you got to look for other areas. Don't focus on the big man. Focus on those other areas where you can get in.
Absolutely.
Key.
I feel like we haven't seen a lot of blitz this year, especially like you said, sending blitz from the secondary like a safety. That can also be dangerous as well, because then there's one less man in the secondary so they can get a touchdown. Yep. But the Warriors also have a good run game with Cannon Cruz, the junior, who has rushed for 464 yards on 6.6 yards a carry, along with 5 touchdowns on the season. Zach, what do the Thunder need to do to contain him?
You know, he's a good playmaker. I think last year when we lost him for the first time ever, led by Hudson Bailey again, so he knows how to win. I think the way we kind of contained them, they kind of ran it at will against us last year, and that was kind of a running factor into how we ended up losing that game, because they kind of just drained the clock towards the end of the game. But I think our D-line is really, our front 7 especially, is really prepared to handle that type of deal, especially with the offenses we've already seen this season. So it'll be a great clash. I'm excited to see it.
Anybody with the first name Cannon is somebody you should probably take seriously. I think in terms of, look, Pius has got a lot of threats. And so you just have to play situational football. It's as simple as that. Win first down and make them throw the ball, force him along 2nd and 3rd downs.
Yeah, and I feel like St. James have done a great job of containing these big star players this year. Lots of star power on that Northwest team. We contained those guys well. We were able to get the win. Containing those big guns against Blue Valley kind of eked out the win late in that game there. But I think if we can contain Cannon Cruz and we can get some good pressure on their quarterback, whoever it's going to be, I think that's going to be key for the Thunder to get a win tonight.
Absolutely. Let's start with our Week 4 predictions. Sal, who do you got in Junction City at Hayes?
You know, I was looking this one before we started the show. It kind of feels like a little bit of a swing game here. I'm going to go with Hayes, just based off I got a little more faith in them but that game could go either way.
I'm going with Hayes as well in this game.
Hayes has been playing really good, but like you just said, Sal, I think this one could go either way, but I'm just going to go with the one who's been playing better football. The almost state champions last year, I'm taking Hayes.
You know, Junction City last week, I don't think wasn't really prepared to see them beat Manhattan the way they did, seeing as dominant Manhattan had been in previous weeks. Manhattan beat Hayes, Junction City beat Manhattan, so therefore Junction City is going to beat Hayes this week.
Next up, we got Miege at Aquinas. Zach, could you have in this one?
A lot of people might see this one and be like, oh, Aquinas is like 123 in a row or whatever, and Miege is not what they used to be, but Miege always has an interesting way of playing these rough teams, especially Aquinas, really tough. So I think it'll be a lot closer than people expect, but I just can't bring myself to pick Miege here.
Bishop Miege is a pretty good defensive line. If they can find a way to stop the run, I think they could pull this off. I'm going to take Bishop Miege.
I'm going Aquinas in this one. They've won all their games by 21 points or more, and that's mostly by Kalinar and the run game. So if Miege's defensive line can't stop him, it's going to be a long night. So I'm going with Aquinas. And I think it's going to be a tight one as well.
I think, yeah, it's going to be a tight game. Miege plays good. Josh, I'm surprised you took Miege here. I'm going to go with Aquinas here, number 1 ranked team in the state. They've been playing out of their minds for however long now, 23-game win streak. They're playing amazing. I don't think Miege has what it takes to stop them.
All right, now we got Blue Valley West at Blue Valley Northwest. Sal, did you have in this one?
You know, Northwest, they've had a tough slide since like we beat them and then got blown out last week. They're missing some key players right now. I feel, I'm going to take Northwest on this one. I said this last week. I think this will be a bounce back game for him. And honestly, if it's not, sorry, guys.
I'm taking Blue Valley Northwest on this one. I mean, they are on a 2-game skid, like you said, still out with Beckett Linden and maybe Aiden McGivney. But I think Blue Valley Northwest is going to get this one.
I think Blue Valley West, anytime people hear the word Blue Valley, like they kind of think it's just like a bigger threat. I think Blue Valley Northwest pulls this one off. I mean, it's basically, like I said about Blue Valley, it's basically like Vanderbilt in the SEC. And they're just not that good. They're not that good. Kind of the joke of the Blue Valley schools. I'm taking North.
I mean, yeah, I was planning on taking Northwest, but seeing how Northwest been landsliding, really hit hard by injuries, I'm pretty sure Aiden McGivney did tear his ACL in his game against us. And Blue Valley West coming off their first win of the season last week, I think they continue the momentum and get the offense rolling and win.
That is true. Blue Valley West did their first win. Good job by them. Next, finally, we have Shawnee Mission Northwest at Mill Valley. Zach, could you have in this one?
Shawnee Mission Northwest, I was really high on this team coming into the season, and they played some teams tough, but they did lose last week in a close one to Olathe Northwest, I believe. So I think Mill Valley is just kind of the perennial power in the Sunflower League this year, as they always are. So I think they're going to find a way to sneak this one out. Close one.
I think this is going to be a really entertaining football game, really fun football game to watch. But I do think that Mill Valley just has that edge that is going to be needed to pull this one out.
Yeah, like you said, Zach, Shawnee Mission Northwest is coming off a 28-31 loss to Olathe Northwest. So they're definitely going to want to be hungry in this game, but also Mill Valley has some big-time playmakers on offense. Also on defense as well, so that's also huge. I'm taking Mill Valley.
Yeah, Shawnee Mission Northwest, they've got talent. I think they'll win some more games this year. But this one, give them Jags. I think they pull this one out.
Thank you for tuning in to the TBN Live pregame show. I'm Mary Claire Zacharias alongside Sal Valera, Josh Mills, and Zach Wilson. We'll send it up to the booth at St. Pius.